think the playoff hopes are slipping away, after Sunday. I think when the Browns are just a game over 500, I think three games left, I think you might see Johnny Manziel.
Well, we'll have to see, man. That's a very possible thing. We'll see what happens this weekend, and then the Browns will decide where to go from there. I think no matter what, I think even if they lose this week, I don't think he starts until Carolina. But that's my thought, because you still have the two divisional games. But we'll see. I'm not willing to say they'll completely make that decision next week, but within the next two, yeah. But man, I'm telling you, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens this Sunday. I think the Browns show up. I just don't know if it's enough. I've got more faith in the offense than you do, though, man. This Colts defense is nothing at all special over there, and I expect the Browns to look much more efficient and effective on offense. I just don't know if there'll be enough of it, that's all. But we'll see about that, my friend, and then we'll come back and talk about it next week. We'll be getting ready for the Bengals one way or the other.
We will do that, J-Rock. 3 games left. I'm hoping that the Browns can win, just like you. I just the Colts are the real deal. Last week, the Browns had the best defense, played the best defense in the league, and this week, in my opinion, they're playing the best offense in the league. So we shall see. And we can talk about it on Friday.
Absolutely, man. Browns defense is in for the test of their lives. Ryan, my friend, you have a good weekend, and we'll catch up next week.
Okay, J-Rock. Go Browns. I'll talk to you next week.
You got it. My man, Ryan Ruiz. You guys check him out, dogpoundnation.com. And, man, thanks to Ryan. Thanks to Jeff this last hour. Looking at the Browns game coming up. Jonathan Knight, Sportswriter extraordinaire earlier. Eddy Jansen way back at the beginning of the show. Talking some Cavs last night. Cavs, they keep in action, actually, continuing right on. That trip tonight, we talked about it earlier. They're in Toronto to take on the Raptors in the middle of this 3-game road trip. Can they extend this winning streak from a season high to 6 games, or does it come to an end at the hand of the Raptors? Then Monday they'll wrap things up. We'll talk about it when we get here Monday, but they've got Brooklyn up there taking on the Nets, and then they come back home for a rematch with these same Raptors that they're playing tonight. So we'll see how they perform as well, with the depth, back end of a back-to-back. Let's see. You're going to have to suck it up. We were talking, Eddy, earlier about the starters and all of that. Well, it's really going to be a burden on them tonight. If somebody can help out off the bench, that would be greatly appreciated tonight on the back end of 2-2. So we'll see. Cavs and the Raptors tonight. Tip-off on that one is at 7:30 is the tip-off on that one tonight. And we'll talk about that on Monday and get you ready for that final game of the trip. There's a lot of hoops over the weekend here. I know the Vikings are back after losing the other day to Toledo. They're back at the Wolstein Center now, under 500. I think the Vikes are down to 3-4. They dropped that one the other night, as we talked about. Western Illinois is the opponent. They come in 2-4. They lost to Akron, blown out the other night as well. A couple of promotions, water bottle, free CSU water bottle to the first 1,000 fans. Also, anybody who brings a toy for Toys for Tots gets $3 off the ticket. And they've got all the family fun stuff for the weekend, the inflatables, the balloon artist, magician, all of that stuff, and some basketball. Vikings, hey, man, they were down nearly 20 points the other day, got it all the way down to a 3-point game until the end. It was like 10 seconds left, and it was too little too late. They rained the threes in the last minute of the game, but until then they weren't shooting well at all, and they only shot 35% for the game. All time, very successful against Western Illinois. Vikings 18-7 all time, but it's been a couple of years since these teams have met up. Vikings last 3 games defensively, Coach Waters has got to be enjoying this, holding opponents to just 37% shooting, and one of those was Louisville, number 6. Remember, they held them to just 45 points on just under 32% shooting. Trey Lewis leading the team, 5th in the Horizon League, 17.6 points a game. He's already had 3 20-plus performances, 27 at Savannah State, 24 at Louisville, 21 the other night against Toledo. That game is coming up Sunday, and Charlie Lee's back too. Remember, he had to sit out the first 6 games of the season. He got in 25 minutes off the bench and already got in. He got a career-high 6 boards, 9 points, 4 assists. He's now 10th all-time on the CSU assist list, and good to have him back. I know Coach Waters glad to have Charlie Lee back out there as well. Vikings, Western Illinois. It's Sunday. Hey, if you're not into football, then there you go. 1 o'clock at Wolstein Center. Fill that place up for the Vikings. as they look to get themselves back to 500. Monsters have a couple of games this weekend. They're at home tonight against Chicago, as they took care of Chicago the other night, 3-2. They've got the second of those two matchups before they hit the road. Rockford coming up on Sunday. We previewed those with Doug Plagans earlier in the week. Later on next week, on Tuesday, as it stands, unless things change, Doug Plagans will be. He may want to wait until Wednesday and preview that Grand Rapids game. But early next week, Doug Plagans will be with us, and of course, we'll talk about the Monsters in Chicago and Rockford over the weekend, see if they can stretch this winning streak to 3, maybe even 4, and points in, 5 or 6 in a row here, depending on how this weekend goes, as the Monsters have won 3 of their last 4 and 4 of their last 6. Man, you got Monsters, there's Buckeyes, there's Hoops, Cavaliers going at it. Speaking of the Buckeyes, they're playing a football game you may have heard about this weekend. Big Ten championship game, Buckeyes, Wisconsin. It's at 8. These funky start times. 8:17 p.m. Saturday night. Wisconsin and the Buckeyes. Can Cardell Jones make it happen? We've talked about it. You know, Dan Wismar on record says if you think he can't throw, I think you're going to be surprised. And hopefully he does surprise Wisconsin. Obviously, Buckeyes are going to have their hands full with that running attack. And Gordon, if they can corral that, they can do this. And if they do, then the pressure is on the other teams and on the committee, as we know. Speaking of, I saw Florida State down their running back here with concussions. He will not be cleared for the ACC title game. So Georgia Tech, Florida State looms large, as does Arizona and Oregon. Buckeyes need to win, and they're going to need one of those teams above them. You got Alabama and Mizzou too. They're gonna, TCU is you can just give them a bye, but I know that they're supposed to play the games, but I'll just go ahead and throw that out there now. But you need one of those teams to lose, and the Bucks have to win. So it's going to be exciting, nail-biting stuff, and then we'll know by the time we come back who the 4 teams are named on Sunday to the first 4-team college football playoff, and then of course Sunday. We talked about it for the last hour or so here all week. All the drama, the quarterback stuff, all of it. It goes on the field and it gets played out Sunday. The Browns and the Colts, 1 o'clock at the stadium, First Energy Stadium, and we'll see. How does Brian Hoyer do? Does the crowd embrace the Browns? Do they boo the first mistake? Do they make mistakes? Do they come out and play well? All these questions will be answered. Can anybody contain this Colts offense? We'll see. And a lot of questions. It's so easy, guys. We said it all week. These questions answer themselves. They'll all answer themselves on the field, and then this week, and then so on. Decisions will make themselves if you allow them to. So we'll see. But it's a lot of fun. Say what you want. It's the, second weekend, technically, here of December, even though, not exactly. And Browns are still in games that matter, and nobody has put together a mock draft. I don't even know who's coming out next year. I don't care yet. Not time to worry about it. Colts game is going to be a big one. We'll talk about that on Monday. John McMullen from the Sports Network, of course, here to break it down. We'll see what happens with all of those stories that we talked about. Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan here as well to talk Browns, Buckeyes. Are we talking playoffs, a bowl game? I don't know. All of that and more. Cavs, so much coming your way Monday. Guys, hell of a weekend, though. Enjoy it. A lot of great sports. Hey, speaking of, shout out to all the local teams that are in the state championship games here this weekend. Benedictines got Archbishop Alter. Nordonia, I just called their game last week over on WINT. They've got a tough one. Cincinnati, LaSalle. Kirtland, they've got a big one here. And then St. Ed's, Huber Heights, Wayne. So 4 local teams attempting to get state championships. Good luck to all of those teams. Speaking of high school sports, I make my basketball debut tonight. Everybody else is playing hoops. I'm going to call some too. Should be a lot of fun. University School and Willoughby South tip it off at 7:30 tonight. I've never done basketball before. I mean, obviously, I've done football and radio and all of that. Basketball should be a lot of fun. Make my debut tonight. Be there with me, 13:30 a.m. if you're here in Northeast Ohio, or WINTradio.com. Anywhere on the internet, or you can use TuneIn and the TuneIn radio app, much like you listen to today's show, perhaps, and find 1330 right there. 7:30 tonight, tip-off of some boys high school basketball. I'll be calling the action, and it should be a lot of fun. I'm excited. So I'm going to get out of here and get ready for that right now. Head on down to the arena. Guys, enjoy the weekend. Thanks to everybody, not just today, but all week for being with us. Again, thanks to Tom Hamilton. If you didn't hear it, go back and listen to Thursday's broadcast, almost an hour with Tom Hamilton, and spread the word, too. Indians Twitter, get it out there. Thursday's show, a great, great chat with Tom Hamilton. Thank you guys for another great, great week, and we'll see you on the back end of it Monday. Same bad time, same bad channel, live at noon, right here on the Sports Fix across the Sports Fix Radio Network. Enjoy all the games and sports this weekend. Come on back, and let's talk about it on Monday, live here on the Sports Fix. We love you, Cleveland, and beyond. We'll see you Monday.
Cleveland, it is so much more to us. You can even go to Severance Hall to see an orchestra. Cleveland.